whenever you win a race in the regular season, it's celebrated and it's a big deal, and you feel like you just won a NASCAR race. But winning the races, unfortunately, or fortunately or unfortunately, the way that we've done it, it doesn't feel like a race win. It just kind of feels like, okay, we did what we needed to do to advance, and it's on to the next one.
Congratulations on making it to the championship 4. Actually, congratulations on winning in Martinsville as well. So how are you feeling heading into Sunday's race?
Yeah, just I guess belated, super excited and happy and ready to, make it happen. And, I appreciate you congratulating me on the win, because, that's one thing that is so easy to get lost in the walk-off moments, right? Like whenever I won at the Charlotte Road Course, it didn't even feel like a race win because we were so focused on the next round in the playoffs. And, whenever you win a race in the regular season, it's celebrated and it's a big deal, and you feel like you just won a NASCAR race. But winning the races, unfortunately, or fortunately or unfortunately, the way that we've done it, it doesn't feel like a race win. It just kind of feels like, okay, we did what we needed to do to advance, and it's on to the next one. So, whenever the season's over and we're looking back at it, it'll be really cool to be like, wow, like we did win 2 races in the NASCAR playoffs that, led us into the next round. So definitely a big moment in my career, and I think for my team too.
Yeah, of course. And I think, you're right. It does get kind of lost because it's all about surviving and advancing. But the best way to advance in the playoffs is winning the race. And you were able to do that. And you needed to do that in order to assure yourself in the championship 4. So in that Martinsville race, you were able to take control in the second half. So what was the turning point for you in that race to take that lead and eventually get the win?
Yeah, so I felt really strong about it, even in the first stage. I didn't qualify well. We started 20th, but we were able to work our way forward. And, at the end of stage 1, I think I was 7th or 8th, and still stronger than the competitors in front of me. So at that point, I knew that I had a strong car and was pretty quick, but you don't know how you stack up against the top 2 or 3 cars. And then the second stage, we kind of stalled out. Like I got into 4th or 5th, and I really wasn't making ground on the competitors in front of me. So I was a little bit nervous, but then, man, once we got into the third stage and I got up to the top 2 or 3, I knew that I was on par with them and was able to maintain pace. And I felt a little bit stronger than the competitors in front of me. So, I felt once we got into that third stage that I was going to have a shot at it. And, my team they executed. The pit stops were amazing. Adam made the right strategy call whenever it came down to that late race yellow, and we were able to make it happen.
Of course. And with that win and then a previous win you had in the playoffs, you had the windows to assure yourself to advance in the postseason. So what's been the key for you to perform at a high level when the pressure is at its highest?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of it goes to my team. Those are the guys that are giving me the tools that I need to do it. But I mean, I've always taken pride in the fact that, whenever the stakes are the highest, I can perform well and make it happen. But I don't really believe that I made it happen at Martinsville. I think my team are the ones that made it happen and gave me the best car.
Of course, you're absolutely right about that. And with this being your first time in the championship 4, have the preparations leading up to the race been different from the previous weeks, or is just pretty much business as usual?
Yeah, it's been very normal so far. We besides the extracurricular stuff, it's obviously a lot of media obligations going on, and it's a big deal, right? Being part of the championship race is a really big deal. But as far as the competition side, it'll be very much normal and just focusing on doing the best job we can. And, we try and win every race, whether that's the final 4 or, the race 5 of the season, it's all the same.
And last year you made the playoffs where you weren't able to advance as far as you would have liked. So what did you learn from that experience that you're able to take into this year's playoffs and into the championship race on Sunday?
I mean, I think the biggest thing that I learned last year is just executing like that.
Mhm.
I've used that word a million times today, but if you're fast and you have great cars like I've had, it doesn't matter if you can't do the details right. And you have to make sure that you're there at the end of the races. You have to score stage points, and that's how you advance in the rounds. And I say that, and I did none of that in the round of 12 or the round of 8. And
Yeah,
fortunately, we were able to win to survive. But yeah, I mean, it's just all about executing and making the most out of what you have.
absolutely right. And the championship four race, you're going up against Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, and Ross Chastain. And for Ross, he had to do something very unorthodox in order to clinch a playoff spot, something that you don't really see in NASCAR races. So, do you expect to see something like that, or you expect to see anything wild or crazy in Sunday's race?
Um, I don't know what's going to happen. I think that if it's a long green flag run and it's spread out, then probably if there's nobody around you, then I don't foresee anyone, pulling that move. But if it comes down to a really close finish, then and there's not a rule implemented, then I would fully suspect or fully uh, be prepared to see it happen again.
And this race is taking place at the Phoenix Raceway. You guys competed there earlier this year, and it was the home of the championship race last year. And I think you finished 8th in that race. So for the Phoenix Raceway, does that track present any challenges you have to watch for, or do you like competing in Phoenix?
Yeah, I mean, it's always been a really good racetrack for me through the Xfinity series and my few cup races that I've had. So, it's definitely a place that I'm excited to have the Final Four event at, and I just want to make the most of it. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And you've obviously had a great year for this 2022 NASCAR Cup Series season. But what would you say would be your favorite moment this season? I know that obviously if you win the championship on Sunday, that has the top of the list. But what would be your favorite moment this season so far?
Probably winning at Charlotte and
Mhm.
having DeWalt on the car. That was their first win at JGR and first win in a long time as a primary sponsor. So that had been on our priority list for a number of years now at JGR, even before I got in the seat. So I'm glad that I was able to deliver their first win at JGR.
And the last question for me before I let you go is once the race is over on Sunday, what plans do you have the off season? I know you guys don't have a long off season because like before you know it, Daytona 500 will be right around the corner. So what plans do you have for the off season?
A lot of nothing. That's what's planned right now. But, I'm sure we'll have to go figure out something to do.
Sounds like a plan. Well, Christopher, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Congratulations on making it to the championship four and good luck to you on Sunday.